Hey, good morning. Already 6:30 on this Wednesday morning as you're waking up and quite warmer than it has been. We're already into the 60s. Sitting at 62 right now as we wait for a high later to be 69 for our high. And I expect thunderstorm activity today. It could be bad from time to time. Tornadoes cannot be ruled out. We're at a level 1 is where we are, and that includes all of Lauderdale County. Let's look at radar before we get into all the news stories and things this morning and set this up for what we have today. Now, keep in mind, today and tomorrow are now going to be chance of severe weather, both of these days. All right, let's pull up radar to where, and I have to get over here to where we can do that. As we go to Meridian Honda, radar will show that we do have here in Jackson area, look at the rain that is coming down right now. Already a flash flood warning there for around the Jackson metro area. Now, light showers in Lauderdale County, nothing much going on there. But as we look at this, look south of Jackson. Now, this is what will concern us later. Look at all of this that is making its way from Beaumont, Baton Rouge, these areas that will move northeasterly across this area. Mid-morning to late afternoon is when we're expecting this. Tupelo, these areas across the Mississippi Delta getting flooded right now. And it's going to be a lot of rain come down. Now, let's look at severe weather of what could happen today. Let's look at where the lines are and the outlook. As we pull this up, here's severe weather today. Now, it does include a level 1 all the way up into Noxubee County, Louisville. Y'all are not out of this. Now, most likely, tornadic activity could be mostly in this southern portion here, but it cannot be ruled out in any of these locations. I'm not trying to make you hit a panic button. I'm wanting you to be aware of what could happen today. Now, let's just go back here and go to the severe and turn on the tornado where that is most likely would be today. And it's what I thought. This area right here around Macomb, Hattiesburg are the most likely areas down to Baton Rouge. If you're watching anywhere in here, tornadic activity, this brown area is where most likely tornadoes could occur. Again, they can't be ruled out anywhere in this green area, but more likely in these areas here. As you'll see here, we've already got storms building. Let's turn off these maps here and go back and show you radar this morning of what's happening here, the severity of all of this. As you'll see there, storm tracks going across here this morning to these areas. Canton will have a storm in about 20 minutes, so be cautious, be careful in those areas this morning. If you've got to go west for any reason, it's a lot of rain and, well, it'll throw you off the highway, as we all know that. We want you to get safely wherever you may be going. So be careful today and drive cautious. Now, we're going to have a complete look at your forecast here in just a moment, a breakdown from the National Weather Service of what they've got. At the end of the day, it's all about you and where you live. We'll make sure to cover all that, so you'll see this here in just a moment here. To be ready, East Mississippi, West Alabama will get a lot of rain today. We could get up to anywhere from 2 to 8 inches in areas, depending upon how much rain comes down. So be prepared for the worst. We'll be right back. Let's get a good word as we start this. Go to Collinsville.
When I was a child, there was one person that I definitely wanted to be like when I grew up. Michael Jordan. I want to be like Mike. That's that old Gatorade jingle went. I loved basketball and wanted to shoot like him, jump like him, dunk like him, wear my wristband on my forearm like him, wear a calf sleeve like him. I didn't even need a calf sleeve, but I wanted one. And of course, I wanted to stick my tongue out like him. It turns out that while I could maybe look a little bit like him, I could never play like him. But a boy can dream, right? More important, though, than our childhood heroes that we long to be like, we as Christians should strive to imitate God. The Holy Spirit, through Apostle Paul, calls us in Ephesians 5:1 to do just that. He says, therefore, be imitators of God as beloved children. We should strive to be like God. That's what it means to be godly. We should do what God does and believe what God believes and love what God loves and hate what God hates. We should imitate Him in all of His ways. Why? Well, let me give you 2 reasons. 1, because being like Him is always best. And 2, because we're His beloved children, and children should be like their godly parents. And I'm so thankful that our Heavenly Father is a perfect example who's so worthy to be imitated. So may you imitate Him for your good and for your joy. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. Hope your morning is going well for you. Lamar says it's raining in Kemper County. I'll be careful there. A lot is coming down in those areas. All the way to Louisville, we see. Stonewall joining us as well. Janice, how are you? Mike Dallas is up and Adam. Dorothy, Miss Charlotte Gray from Philadelphia. Folks here in Meridian, we a little bit of everywhere today. We want you to be cautious and be careful. And yes, it's warmer weather. What does that tell us? Looks like it'll be a good day. Naked Man is already on the streets, roaming around just naked, running down North Hill Street. Just for your protection, you needed to know that. Boy, oh boy. Do you remember the name? And I know her name. I can't remember the name of the show. Maybe it was Saved by the Bell or one of those. Selena Gomez. And I think she sings now, and she's an actress and does lots of things. But she started out on, I think, the Disney Channel, one of those. She is looks to be going to help somebody. And that's good. A cancer stage 4 patient who is 22 years old who put out a video release, TikTok, saying that she was his favorite star and wanted to meet her before he passed away. She's reached out. I don't know if they've united yet, but have met yet, but that's a good thing. I'm glad she's doing that. We're sorry to hear of his illness, but she is making strides to make his dream come true before, well, the ultimate happens. That's good. This is, as a parent, it makes you cringe as I tell you the next story. What kid wouldn't want to go sledding in the snow? We all done that. We don't get it here that much. Iowa, it's probably a little bit more. 13-year-old boy done that. His sled slid in front of a car. He has died from his injuries. And again, horrible that is that something like that could happen. Keep that family in your thoughts. It may be miles away from where we are, but still a sad, sad situation. I don't know a lot about the NBA. I don't keep up with it, but if you are an NBA lover, love basketball, Tristan Thompson has been suspended from 25 games. I'll give you a guess as to why. He has broken drug policy with the NBA. He must sit out 25 games. Let's see here. Have you seen the pictures? I guess it started as a prank. One thing led to another, and how fraternities are in college. Well, the prank got out of hand. There's a Longhorn laying in front of an Oklahoma State fraternity that is dead. I'm assuming they picked it up after it was deceased and dropped it off. They've been arrested for the prank, and we'll see where it goes, but they sure done it. Kids often do things that aren't so smart. We learned this morning that a Russian military transplant plane has crashed near Ukraine. The plane was carrying 65 Ukraine prisoners. That is bad. No word yet on how many people have survived. That's a horrible thing that we see this morning. You know, in zoning policies, I'm sure that they have a reason. An Ohio pastor has been arrested. He's broken zoning laws. He was helping the homeless, those that were cold in his church, and he's been arrested for zoning laws. Doesn't always make sense, does it? I didn't think so. But that's the headlines there. We'll talk more about this coming up at 8, but when Joe can see the future, and he gets confused very often at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, he's already said, Nikki, it's over. Donald is going to get the nomination. We all know it's coming. But if Joe can see it, Nikki, where are you? Take those beer goggles off and see the future, girl. If you haven't heard by now, Trump won the New Hampshire last night very well. But she says it's not over. I hadn't lost yet. Yes, you have. You never got started. The real race, of course, is Biden and Trump, 24. We see it coming. We all know that will happen in the end. She's hanging on by a thread as she goes into her home state. I guess you could call it her home state where she was governor. She hopes she'll do well. I'm afraid she won't. Thought you might want to know that. We got a lot of details with that coming up here in just a moment. Don't run off. We're going to get into your forecast next because it's a wet, wet, wet one. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Is it time for a new couch? Visit Southern Accents Boutique in downtown Marion. Maybe it's a couch you're looking for, a couple of chairs, or maybe just a piece of furniture. A large selection of E. Newton has just arrived if you're looking for a bracelet. They come in all shapes and sizes. Or maybe it's just a happy you're looking for, like the Nest candles. A Kendra Scott necklace is on everybody's list this year. And if you need a little help picking out something for Valentine's Day, let the professionals help you at Southern Accents Boutique, downtown Marion on Dale Drive.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we start this early Wednesday. Can y'all believe it's already midweek? Yeah, it's coming along quite quickly there. Well, let's see if this will go to behaving correctly. Let's look at our highs and lows as we get into our forecast.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Those record highs and record lows. 1972, a warm day. 80 degrees back then. We're looking at 69 today. Still a lot off from that. 1963, what a cold day that was. 4 degrees was it in 63. My heavens. Across Bama, again today, we'll see about 62 in the Mississippi area. That's what we're looking at, 60s and rain. As we look at Alabama, we pulled this up to show you that 69 there in Tuscaloosa, 71 in Demopolis, a little bit warmer there. Birmingham should see 66. Now let's get into this breakdown of what we got. Flash flooding. Now this is today through tomorrow. And if you'll notice this could be anywhere from 3 to 6 inches in the area. Rainfall is going to be locally heavy. Could be higher in some of these storms. Do not cross roadways that have water. We just want you to be up front and know all of this. It's going to be multiple rounds of heavy rain, and we see this on radar. We'll go back to it in just a moment to study this so you can see all of this. Now, this is the risk of severe storms today. Again, as we looked at this when we first began the broadcast, this is Area 1. The Brookhaven area southwest of Hattiesburg is where we expect tornadic activity today, where it could happen. It cannot be ruled out in the East Mississippi area, from Jackson all the way over to the state line and the edge of Alabama, but more likely to be in this area here. Mainly this will be mid-morning, 11 o'clock through early evening. So we'll watch this. It could be quite a while that we watch the weather. So we'll be here in studio throughout the day watching all of this. As we look at tomorrow, look at this. We're still at a level 1 for tomorrow, and this will go Thursday morning into the afternoon hour. So we got another day-long event of this, and it's going to be wet, and wet. Now, what we don't need is some wind mixed with this, do we? A lot of rain makes trees weak, and next thing you know, we lose power. We don't want any of that. As we look at these temperatures, still normal here in East Mississippi, but we do see back west and north, all areas are warmer than average. Let's look at that forecast of what we do know that is coming here. Yeah, here we are. 7-day forecast today, 69 for that high, 100% chance of rain today and tomorrow. Look at Friday, still 70% chance of showers in the forecast, high 69, 60% chance of rain on Saturday. I wouldn't plan on doing a lot of outdoor activities right now. It's going to be wet regardless. As we get into Sunday, the rain backs off. High will adjust about 20 degrees there as we'll go down to 56, then back to, 60s on Tuesday. As we move forward to here we go, 7-day forecast all the way another 2 weeks out. We go all the way through the 7th. We're going to hold steady in the 60s and nearly 70-degree mark through February the 7th. Boy, that's going to be warm. Just doesn't seem right. Rain moves back into the forecast about the 3rd of February. Be prepared for that. We got a wet winter ahead of us, don't we? As we look at our fishing forecast, here we go for today. It looks like your major time with Chet's Paint Body is going to be around 11 o'clock today. Call it 11:30, and it should be good till about 1:30, the fishing there. If you can handle the rain, if it's light, then don't go. Southeast wind, 10 to 15, but we'll have gusts of about 25 miles an hour. That's strong. It'll mess with those lures. As we look at what's happening on the hunting side, we'll go over to Collinsville Meats. Our first major, it's not really one this morning at all. Your next best time to go is going to be around 10:30 this morning to 12:30. So one time today that they're saying is the best. And again, I'd do shoot house. If you got to go, that's where I'd be. Don't be in the tree, you'll get wet. Get in someplace dry and watch it all come down. Take care of yourself. Again, a rainy day in store for us. We want you to be cautious, be careful, no matter where your travels go. Areas of concern that we want you to be careful at. Of course, the curve coming into Meridian I-59 split. If you're coming in on that, slow down. We have wreck after wreck after wreck. Let's back down. 2 more places of attention that constantly have wrecks near Enterprise. If you're traveling I-59 north toward Meridian, be careful. That exit, 133 through about 139 through there, wreck after wreck after wreck. And then if you're coming in from Newton or going to Newton out of Meridian, as you get to the Lost Gap area there, right past that split, extra cautious, slow. 2 hands on the wheels, don't let off. We have too many wrecks there. It's either dips or whatever you want to call it, water holding in roads and people lose control of vehicles. We don't want you to be a number and, well, show up on the report this morning in an accident. Be careful, be safe no matter what you do. Wally, how are you this morning? We do appreciate you there. Barry Deering, good to see you. Bill Woods is up. Good morning, good morning. Anitra will be back at 7 o'clock joining us for the morning show there. Also, Stacy Smith joining us there. T. Williams, so glad. The weather is bipolar. I do agree with you on that. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It's one way 1 minute, and another moment there. We'll get into all the stories that are shaping. MPD made a great arrest last night. Proud of that. We'll tell you all about that, but coming up at 7 o'clock. Don't miss out on it. Some fender benders and a whole lot more that happened in our area. Major arrest. FBI in town. We'll tell you all about that next here. Scotty Ray Report. Odie's here. He's dressed in gray and ready for the day. We'll see you at 7.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.